Right, everyone, we are live with this Christmas themed coding session. So all we're going to do is put together a little Christmas themed scratch game for the holiday season. So what I'm going to start with is I'm thinking about doing like a like factory style game. So like something like a Santa's Workshop tycoon sort of thing. So I am going to start by creating some tiles that you're going to be able to build different things on. So let's start in this corner here. Just this 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to start by building like a few tiles. Which are going to just be the tiles. You can choose the different things you can place things on. So I'm going to start by I'm going to make it just plain wood at first, and then as you build more different things. Okay, so that's 32 by 32. I'll stick with that. Go with 32 by 32 for the different base tiles. I want everything to look like quite cute and cartoony, very stylized. I go with pixel art just because I think that will work well with the vibes that I'm going for here. The plan is just to stream for a couple of hours, see how much we can get done, and I'll probably do another live stream before Christmas just to try and finish this game off, because I don't think I'm going to get the entire game done today, but would like to get something of like a basic primary gameplay loop up and running. Let's go call this one the base. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them all a dark outline. I'm not going to go true black. I don't think true black looks particularly good, but I'm going to go with a dark brown outline, just because I think that will look a bit cuter when it comes to like selecting it and stuff. I think outlines always just help everything pop a little bit when it comes to making a game. Should we go with a double outline? How does that look? No, I think the single outline's better. A bit too much otherwise. Well, let's just get a grid of these generating. Grid. X width. X width. By Y width. Y width. Let's keep this lowercase as well, just because it looks a little bit odd. My attention to detail doesn't like it being like that. So all you have to do is repeat Y width times. Let's do edit. Start. Actually, no, we don't need to do that. What we'll do is set X to each tile is what, 30. Okay, so let's do 40 times width over -2. Let's try that. I think I do need to change that to add like half a one because it starts in the middle. Let's see. Repeat X width times. Oh, hello programmer. Hello people in chat. Nice to see you joining us. So what we're going to do is, so people just joined. We're making a like Santa's Workshop sort of tycoon game. So it's going to be that you can unlock different things, different ways of making toys, and stuff like that. So move 40 steps, create clone of myself, then change Y by -40. Da-da-da. Then if we just drag one of these blocks and do hide, yeah, slightly off center, so we need to take away. Oh, and I need to make it so that the things show when they start as a clone. How long have I been on Scratch? I think I first used Scratch when I was in year 4 of primary school. So I would have been what, for about 9-10 years. So it's about a decade now I've been using Scratch. So quite a long time. I need to set Y to that. See how this works. Okay, we can still increase the Y value. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like what age people start, like I was introduced to it through school. I don't know if all schools cover Scratch or like in different countries and stuff. I just know the UK experience. But I mean, I really got into Scratch like properly probably when I was about 12 or 13. I was like really into it. There was this like old animation on Scratch, because at first I didn't really make games. I liked using Scratch for animation more than I did for making games. I was really obsessed with this Scratch animation called The Color Divide, and that really inspired me to. I don't care about the new extension Scratch. Yeah, I was really into the animation The Color Divide, and I really wanted to make an animation in Scratch. There's tons I've started. Like I have so many like 1 episodes of really bad animations. I actually have one animation that I started making episode 1 of, and okay, so I said grade 5's when you're 12. Okay, for us we call that year 8 when you're 12. So, but yeah, I wanted to be an animator. It was only after that I got more into the game making side of it, which I now think is a lot more fun. So yeah. I don't really do animation much anymore. Yeah, there's one which I've started but haven't finished, and it's just been sat in my Scratch, like, my stuff page for ages. I keep, like, thinking maybe I'll go back to it at some point, but I don't know, I'm not super into the animation stuff right now. We'll see. But yeah, for now, just chugging along making games. Having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I quite like this. What we need to do, I'll delete the my variable. Oh, hello, Stella King. Welcome to the stream. We are making a Scratch. Yeah, we're just making a Scratch Tycoon-like sort of game. The way that UK's grade system works is you start school when you're 4, and we call it that like reception or foundation stage. Then it goes, so then when you're 5, you go to year 1. Primary school goes up to year 6. Then, yeah, it just keeps going up when you're in secondary school from year 7 to year 11. Year 12 and 13 at college. Then you go to uni. Although I never went to uni. Wasn't really my thing. Yeah, so let's see. I need to make a system so that it can say which tiles should be which. Like design. And let's make another custom. No, I can just do it at the end of the grid one. Delete all of tiles at the start, then each time it makes a clone, add none tiles, and that's all. Just make a list like of indexes for all the different tiles, so each one has its own value. What do I call it? I call this base. Okay. And then I can just make it so that it switches costume to item, this val of tiles. That sounds like a cool game. It sounds like a lot of work, that game. But yeah, if you're able to get all that in, that would be pretty cool, I think. I've never played much Among Us. I have a lot of friends who play it. And obviously I've seen the memes. Of course you can talk about your game, if you want to. Yeah, find your ideas towards me. I'll see what I think of them. But yeah, I've never played much Among Us myself. I know it's incredibly popular. And obviously, like, I've played sort of like the non-online versions of the game, like, you know, like werewolf and stuff, where you just sit in a circle in like theatre class or like drama class and just try and convince each other that you're not the one murdering everyone. But I've never done that. Like, I've never really played the game, like the mobile game. Let's see. No, of course. My idea is that there's going to be different stations in this game. So there's going to be like one for like woodwork stuff, one for like textile based stuff, maybe like one for like food, and you have to like unlock the different ones and have them catering to making different things, just so that they can cover all the different like fake toys that the children are going to want. Well, it sounds like you're making good progress on your game, which is good. Personally, I always find the hardest thing is like when you start a new game, you're always like really excited about it, right? And then like the more you get into it, you start to like burn out on it a bit. But like you have to kind of push through that to get the game finished, which is just super important, because otherwise it's just gonna never get done and you never finish anything, because there's always some shiny new idea you want to move on to. But if you can push through that and get the game done, then that's the hardest part and can make some. It's what you need to do to get a really good project. Sandbox games are always quite ambitious, but they can be really fun. It sounds like a really good concept though, like a really interesting one with like the time progression. Obviously I don't really know the mechanics of your game, but yeah, sounds like a very interesting like concept. One thing I always do, like I know like different people like go about things differently. I always try and think of like what's the game gonna be before I think about like the setting. Like when I'm making A Farmer's Life, when I started that, it wasn't so much about like like I didn't know half the features I wanted to add into it when I started. I just focused on getting like a basic farming game set up, and then once I had that set up, I then moved on to adding other stuff like fishing and farming. Like I think it's very easy to like overscope early on when you're making a game, and that can just lead to like having a game with a lot of like half-finished features but nothing like fully playable. I was trying to like, a rule of thumb is from as early a point in the process as possible, you want the entire game to always be playable, and then you can just like expand stuff out. Because yeah. And trust me, like, I'm only saying these things because these are things I've done myself, like, 1,000 times. Like, for every game that I, like, release on Scratch, there's probably, like, 5 or 6 that I start and then they just never see the light of day. But that just gives me, that's just taught me the different ways. Like if there's a game that I'm really passionate about, what I need to do in order to actually get it out there. So yeah, these are just pretty common things that happen when you're making games. But if yeah, when you start learning about these things, like the traps you can fall into, very quickly you learn how to avoid them. One of the things I always, like, one of the traps I often fall into is that I end up having too many projects on the go at once. So, like, just even at the moment, I always have a farmer's life going on. I'm writing a story. I'm making a comic, which has been taking up a lot of my time. Like, and then, you know, there's stuff I have to do. Like, I have to go to work most days. Like, you know, I can't just, like, oh, I want to make a Scratch project. I don't feel like going into work. Like, no, I have to work most of the time. So, you know, like time management and stuff like that is also a pretty big thing. And like, you know, sometimes when you come home from work and you're tired, like the last thing you want to do is like sit down for like a 4-hour coding session or whatever. But again, sometimes you have to decide like, what are your priorities? How badly do you want to get your game done? And yeah, planning out your game and like figuring out the scope early on is often a really helpful strategy. Like often, like I recommend just making like 2 lists. Like make one list of things which is like necessities for your game. Like my game will not function unless I have X, Y, and Z. And then you can have another list of things which are like nice to haves. Like I would love for my game to have these things, but they're not for the first demo version. Like, focus on just banging out a demo version, then you can go to your nice to haves list and see what you can add in. And my recommendation, just get people playing your game and like get feedback on it as early as humanly possible. Like, the sooner you get people like looking at your game and giving you feedback, because they will find, no matter how much you playtest, other people are always going to find issues that you never even think of. What game am I making? Right now, I'm making like a Christmas, like Santa's Workshop Tycoon sort of game. Where like you have to pay for buy different workstations to fulfill the different Christmas orders. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Let's just stick with these 2 for now. We can add more once I have this set up. Here I'm talking about overscoping. I don't need to do too much art before I get the primary gameplay loop set up. I should probably sort out some sort of money system. One tip in Scratch: don't use Scratch's variables for your UI because they look absolutely awful. Like, they might work with a very specific art. Okay, goodbye, programmer guy. Thanks for the good luck wishes, and I hope you have a nice day. But yeah, don't use Scratch's variables unless you're using a very, very specific art style that they happen to work with, which I don't know what art style that would be. I think they look absolutely horrific. Maybe like some sort of like sci-fi techno thing. They might, yeah. Just figure out a way of displaying values that don't require using the bright orange that is the Scratch's variable system, because that just doesn't look good. I always like just writing in the numbers and letters by hand, especially like with a pixel art style like this one. Like having like just regular typeface in it always looks slightly ridiculous. So yeah, it does mean you have to draw out all the letters yourself, but I think it's very much so worth it. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few minutes, is just powering through and setting up all the UI to display the money that you have. So yeah. I haven't really figured out the full ins and outs of this game. I just thought it'd be nice to do something themed for the holiday season, considering December starts tomorrow. I can't believe it's this close to Christmas already. There is so much stuff I haven't done. I'm the most disorganized person on the planet when it comes to Christmas. Like I know people who like finish their Christmas shopping in October, and I'm here just like, yeah, I'll figure out when December starts, and now December's starting, and it's like you suddenly realise, I actually have to start thinking about getting people stuff. Last year I made loads of people stuff for Christmas. I don't have time for that anymore, so yeah, I'm going to make a couple things, but for the most part I think I'm just going to have to buy stuff. Yeah. Although to be fair, in our house we don't spend ages on presents now. We used to. Like, for a while, Christmas was like, you know, everyone taking it in turns to unwrap a million boxes. But we just realised after a while, I think it was like when COVID hit and we couldn't all go shopping, so we decided to skip out on presents for a year. And we just realised Christmas was just so much more fun when we weren't opening boxes for, like, hours. And we just played Pictionary and stuff. And it was like, oh, this is just really fun just to spend time as a family. So yeah, we just kind of haven't been doing much in terms of present buying the past couple of years. But there's still a couple people I like to buy presents for. We just dialed it back a bit. Which is, yeah. Because personally, I think there's more to Christmas than materialistic objects. And also it's really awkward when you're opening a box from someone who isn't even there. And you have to be like, do you question, if you open a present from someone who isn't in the room, what do you say? Do you say thank you to, like, thin air? Or do you just, like, go, oh, that's nice, and move on? Like, what are you meant to do? Like, how... I really don't, like, you know... And I'm the sort of person who overthinks social situations, so, you know, not quite knowing what to say in moments like that kind of freaks me out. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Like, just thank... nothing, and it's like slightly awkward because you kind of feel like you have to say thank you, and then you just end up looking at the pile of thank you note, like thank you cards you haven't written that have just been sat on your desk for like months. And you're like, I should really get around to writing those. I realised that like I have to write all my thank you notes on Boxing Day, or I just don't bother writing any. Like I need to write them like immediately, or they just won't get done. Which, you know, is not a great thing, but I just get distracted by, like, everything else I have going on. I'm adding some letters to my UI system just because, in case, like, if the number goes above 1,000 and stuff, it's quite nice to be able to display it with... the letters, so you know, like K for 1,000, M for 1,000,000, B for 1,000,000,000. It's always good to add like fail safes to stuff like this in Scratch. Sweet, that's quite sweet. A snow globe for Christmas. Yeah, that is a sweet little gift. My mum wants me to get her a recorder for Christmas. Like the instrument, so I'm going to get her one of those, and my dad wants a record player, so those are the two main gifts that I've had to worry about. I'm glad you like the look of the game so far, even though it's pretty bare bones at the minute. So yeah, we're just gonna make this into a B. Oh, I realise I should probably... I realise I've got to duplicate that. I'm always doing that. Like, that's a really common mistake for me to make. Glad you like the art. I think it's yeah, like pixel art I think generally looks quite good. So Especially if you keep to like a good colour palette and stuff. I think it's a pretty easy one to get done quite quickly. Yeah, I can definitely see the Minecraftness of this. Then I need a decimal point. For if you have like 1.5k or something. So I'm going to make a decimal point, and I'm also going to do a plus sign for if somehow you get to like 1 trillion coins. Like, because obviously you can't keep going up in the letters forever unless you particularly want to code that in. So I'm just going to do like a plus, and then it's going to be like, I don't mean to explore that, fine, whatever. You could just do like, you know, 999.9 billion plus. And it's fine. Anything new I'm gonna watch soon? You know, I don't really watch, like, in terms of like TV and stuff, I don't really watch much TV or film. I'm going to the cinema next Friday actually with a friend to watch the new Five Nights at Freddy's film. It's quite funny because like FNAF got like popular when I was quite young, and now I work at a school, and like these kids are like the same stuff that I grew up with, and it's like, seriously, you're into that? but they come at it from a completely different like generation of people. That's cool. I hope you enjoy that. Yeah, just have a drink of water a sec. Not used to talking this much without taking a break. Most of my YouTube videos are like getting quite short now, so I don't have to do these massively long commentaries anymore. I do plan on watching the new season of Stranger Things. I haven't yet. I know it's like they got like halfway through the 5th season of it. Yeah, I haven't watched the latest season. I do enjoy it. For what it's worth. I'm not like obsessed with the show. Like I haven't like rewatched any of it. Like I just watched each episode once so far, but I haven't. But yeah, I do enjoy the show, so I will, I'm sure, watch season 5 fairly soon. I'm gonna make this into a coin icon. Yeah, I don't know what else is coming out. There's a new Marvel film, isn't there? Fantastic Four. I've kind of fallen out of favour with Marvel. I used to love watching Marvel stuff, especially like the pre-Endgame era. There's a couple seasons, like phase 4 that they're on now that I really enjoyed. But yeah, a lot of the recent ones have been kind of dull, so I haven't watched them. I did enjoy Thunderbolts for what it was worth. Thought it was quite a good film. But compared to some of the other ones I've watched. But yeah. I don't really have that much time to sit down and watch TV at the moment, so I wish I did. I do like a family film night like with my parents sometimes. We haven't had much time recently, but we are hoping to get back into that. But we don't really watch new films. We watch like older ones that we've been wanting to watch for a while. So let's see. Clone that. So what stuff are you guys watching then? I know you said you're watching that thing on YouTube with the music. Yeah, but what other things? Like, are there any TV shows you think I should watch? What am I doing? Go to this position. Let's see. Repeat. Do 6 times. To create clone of myself, then change X by. I don't really watch Eurovision. I've got a lot of friends who are like really into Eurovision. I do listen to the music like and stuff afterwards, if like I think it's good. But like, I'm not like, I just kind of enjoy the music. I don't really watch it for like the competition of it. I think like there's some catchy songs that come out of Eurovision, so. Because in our house we don't even have a TV, just because there isn't really space for one. Like, we can watch stuff on, like, the computers and stuff. Like, you know, we can get streaming services onto the computers. But otherwise, we don't really... Yeah, we just don't really watch TV very much. I just watch a lot of YouTube, to be honest. Change this file. There's a value for money as well. 0. We 0 when it starts. Then we can do when I start as a clone. Forever if this value is equal to icon. And switch costume to coin. Then we need to, I'm going to make this into a custom block with display value. And run with that screen refresh. We can do man, Club Penguin. Those are these, huh? Well, I was more into Moshi Monsters than Club Penguin, although they're very similar games. I saw they made a Kickstarter to bring Moshi Monsters back. I don't really get the point of that, though. Like, who's the target audience there? Because the people who are, like, actually nostalgic for Moshi Monsters are probably too old to be playing, like, virtual pet games regularly. And, like, younger people probably don't want to play those games because they kind of fell out of favour. So I don't really get why they're bringing Moshi Monsters back. I don't know who's going to play it. But, like, I'm probably going to play it for, like, a few days just to, like, catch up with it. But, yeah. Yeah. I feel like Scratch is one of those things that a lot of people use, like, when they're younger and then kind of move on from. Which is, I mean, that's fine, obviously. Like, I don't think there's any... Like, I wouldn't really expect loads of people to continue using this into, like, adulthood like I do. Like, the number one comment I get on my YouTube channel is, why are you using Scratch as a kid's program? Use, like, a proper coding software. And it's like, I do know how to code. Like, I have done stuff in, like, C++ or, like, C#. I've used Unity and GameMaker. I just like Scratch. So, yeah, that's why I do that. It's very specific that you're able to put a year on it. I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with using, like, deciding, yeah, I'm not going to use Scratch anymore. And, like, saying, like, hey, I'd rather use... I don't know, the Unreal Engine. Not that my computer could handle the Unreal Engine. But if it could, I understand why you'd want to use it. One of the main things I want with Scratch is to prove you can, really. I mean, yeah, like, the modded version of Scratch. Like, I use Turbo Warp sometimes. Which is, like, you know, a modded version of Scratch. And then Penguin Mod is, like, like an upgrade of Turbo. It was like one step up from Turbo Warp. Like with my main project of Farmer's Life, I started that completely in Scratch. But if you like Scratch does actually have a file size limit. Like, I can't remember, it's quite a big file size limit, but like you know, after a while, like, you can't make massive projects in it because you just run out of file space and it just refuses to save. Which is quite funny. But, you know. Yeah, Unity's one of those ones where it's like kind of counterintuitive. Godot's quite fun. I quite like Godot. And then Game Maker I've used quite a bit. I never released anything in those ones, but yeah. And then I did a bit of coding like without a game engine for a while, which was interesting. And we should do when is that going to show? Hide before that. Yeah, something like that. 5 megabytes, 10, something like that. Yeah. And also, if your project gets too big, it starts like, even if it's small enough to save, it struggles loading, and a bunch of the sprites just get replaced with question marks, which has happened on one of my older versions of A Farmer's Life. So people keep saying, "Oh yeah, the game's broken." It's like you just have to reload the page until the glitch goes away. Like, it's not a problem with the game file, it's a problem with like Scratch loading the game. So yeah, if you like, sometimes big projects just wind up with loads of like error question mark things where the assets can't load in. But yeah, you just have to kind of deal with that one, I guess. Money is bigger than 99k. I'm going to do this in a new block. I call it truncate. It's not really truncation, but it's a name I understand. So let's go with that, and we can do divide by 1,000. Okay, and we're dividing money. So letter 4 of value by divider is equal to dot. I'm just setting up a basic like UI system to show the letters. If the value gets too big, it should work. Then we can display money join letter. This. And then we can, this just makes it so the last letter can't be a decimal point, what I'm doing right now. Money, money, money. Yeah. Let's see. Then we can do the same for 1,000,000. Slip that in there. We can do billion. Let's see. Odds of this working without glitching are pretty low, I reckon. But we can certainly give this a go. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We're making a little Santa's Workshop tycoon game sort of thing. Move this out of the way so we can. There we go. So, yeah, see, that works. Okay, 4.2k. We're going to do this. Yeah, see, everything works. There seems to be anyway. Now, let's see. We need to create like a shop, or like, so you can click on a tile to select it sort of thing. I'm also going to add if selected is equal to this val. Well, December starts tomorrow. If it's like an advent calendar thing, then it better come out pretty soon. Christmas countdowns. Fun. I've had the same advent calendar ever since primary school, like reception of primary school. It's one where you put like little pictures of like the reindeer into like this picture of a stable. Like each day you have to like add another object, like another like card into the thing, and I've literally just had that my entire life now. It's like I've had it for like 17 years or whatever, 16 years, and I just still have it, and it's kind of cute. Right, this way around. See. I remember once I told my friend that I always use the same advent calendar, and she was so confused. She's like, "You use the same advent calendar every year, but all the chocolates will be gone." And it's like, there weren't chocolates in it to begin with, mate. But you know, it is what it is. When I was little, even like my nan always gave me a second advent calendar. It never had chocolate in it. It was always one of those like pictures ones, which I always thought were really cute. Do you guys all have your advent calendars ready for Christmas? I hope so, because it's just around the corner. And supermarkets have been selling them since like August, so... Does it book anyone else how early they start advertising Christmas stuff now? Yeah, it kind of sucks. Like one of the shows you like comes to an end. The thing is though, sometimes like I think it's better for a show to come to an end while it's still good. Because the amount of times that like a show goes on past its expiration date and just kind of goes downhill, or like, you know, and then the show just gets rubbish. Like it's kind of like sad. You have a kinder, or like a kinder advent calendar. Yeah, those are fun. 40. Yeah, it's like sometimes shows just like if a show goes on past its prime, then sometimes you don't want to see any more shows go. I was gonna make a Game of Thrones joke then, but I don't think you're probably too young to watch. I expect a lot of you are too young to watch Game of Thrones. I mean, I only watched it after the fact. I didn't watch Game of Thrones when it was coming out. Because I'd have been like, what? So it ended in 2018, so it would have been, what, like 13? Yeah, probably a bit too young to be watching that. It's only after the fact that I watched it. But yeah, don't want any shows to end the way that one did. Although I think that one suffered from the opposite problem. They rushed the ending rather than they should have let it like play out more. Even a show like Netflix's Arcane, like, it was only ever planned to be 2 seasons. Like, if they made it, like, a 10-season extravaganza, it would have got, like, I don't think it would have been as good. But the fact it was just 2 seasons, and it was all kind of, like, just packed in there, it made it pretty good. Okay, so now you can select the different tiles. I need to make, like, a shop that can open. Let's see. A shop tab. Okay, so, and like, you know, sometimes a show ending, it frees those people working on it up to put their energy into new stuff. So even if it doesn't mean like, you know, you're never going to get content by the people whose content you love ever again, I expect you will. They might just have wanted to move on to greener pastures, so to speak. So yeah, I always think that there's a silver lining to these sorts of things. Scroll this down here, like so. Okay, so this is going to be the shop, so I'm going to add a little label to this that says shop. Creative, I know. Da-da-da. So if there's anything you want to talk about, just let me know in the chat. I will ramble on about it, whatever you send my way. Obviously I am trying to code at the same time, so it's like I'm multitasking here. But yeah, if there's anything you guys fancy discussing, it doesn't have to be Scratch related. It could be anything really. But you know, what type of work do I do? I am a teaching assistant. I work mostly with SEND children. So you know, children on like the autism spectrum and stuff. Just giving them the extra support they need in the classroom, that sort of thing. I'm fairly new at the job. Been there since July. But it's going well so far, so, you know, we'll see how it goes. My eventual plan is I do want to become a teacher. I'd like to be a maths teacher eventually. But for now, this is a good place to be, I think, for me. I'm happy with where I'm at. So yeah. And of those things you listed, Digital Circus, Gaslight District, the only one I've watched any of is Digital Circus. I do enjoy Digital Circus. I haven't watched like all of it, but I've watched clips of it and stuff. And yeah, I think it's a really well put together little series. It's a lot of fun. Characters have fun designs, and yeah, I think it's a pretty cute little thing. The other two things I haven't heard of though, Gaslight District or the Knights of Guinevere? Guinevere? G-Y never? I don't know. But yeah. I'm not super up to date on current YouTube stuff, which is funny considering how much of my time I spend on there, but let's see if let's see, I'm going to try and make it so that this panel slides in and out based on whether or not and I want it to be so like I'm going to use a positioner so it goes fully off the screen, because Scratch has a thing where like sprites can't go fully off the screen. It's kind of annoying. It's so kids don't blow up their parents' computer by breaking things, but If you're not a kid, then it's pretty annoying. Man, all this talking's getting to me. It's good though, I do a lot of acting. I need to work on my vocal stamina. Let's see, if X position is less than negative, say. Show change X by -2. If X is greater than 0, C, set X position to 0. Else change X by 2. Let's see if this, oh, I didn't mean to press that. Oh. So let's see, does this... Then... There we go. Now the shop panel is able to slide in and out. Pretty happy with that. Let's see. Yes, this is. Let's see, let's see, let's see. There we go. What is that word there? The dwarf planet. There's an exclamation mark in it. So, Gokun Lomadia? I don't know what sound an exclamation mark makes. Bukonol Omidima. That's my best guess. I had to replace the exclamation mark with an L. Let's see. Now we need to create some like things you can buy in the shop. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna start with a woodworking shop purchase option. So yeah, let's create the label for this. Just like this. Yeah, I have no idea how you pronounce that word, to be honest. Let's see. Wood. This is going to be like, you know, stuff like toy boots or trains or like soldiers and stuff. You'll be able to make it woodworking. I could probably add like one for like food, so you can make like cookies or chocolate, and then maybe one for like tech, because I'm adding a textiles one. So you have like 4 options of Have you seen those shorts of that guy who like sees, like, he gets sent words by his fans, which are just like really random, like, amalgamations of like sounds, and he attempts to say them, and it's like, I have no idea if he gets them right, but like, he also discusses just like rules of linguistics and stuff. But yeah. Those videos always make me laugh because it's like, that is not a word. Like, it's not a word he's trying to say. Then we need to set a price for this. So let's copy in the coin. Like so. Gonna say, let's start with 100. Actually, for woodworking, let's go with 10. I mean, whatever woodworking costs is going to be the amount of like money that you start with. See. So 10. And then you'll be able to like pay extra to upgrade it so it can unlock different like types of things. So like, you know, it's going to cost more to make maybe like a toy train than it does to make a toy soldier or something like that. Do I play Team Fortress 2 or Roblox? I used to play Roblox. I haven't in ages. I have been thinking about trying to like you know, doing a video where like I try making a game in Roblox Studio or something. But yeah, it's been a really long time since I played it, and I never played TF2. I think I have Team Fortress 2. I've just never played it. I do think I have the Team Fortress games on my Steam account, but I just never played them. It's like, I have the Half-Life games. I've never finished... Like, I finished the first Half-Life game. Never finished Half-Life 2. I enjoyed it, I just got stuck because I'm really bad at games. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Roblox. Because the thing is, like, I think Roblox had a kind of resurgence, but like there was a while where all the games are like really samey and really boring. Like, you know, there's only so many times you can play flippin' adopt and raise a cute baby or whatever it's called. And the exact same, like, tycoon game where you stand on a button, and then you stand on another button, and then you stand on another button, and so on. I think now, like, there are some genuinely really creative games on there. Like, people have, like, found their thing on there. Although the way it, like, the method on there for, like, how people get paid for their games and stuff is a little bit dubious and, like, morally questionable. Like, it's kind of like, because it's fully aware that most of the people on there are children. So it's a little bit exploitative. And, like, you know, the cut you get for the game you make is pretty low and stuff like that. But, you know, if you are able to make some money on there, then good for you. I'm all for creators creating in their favourite software, and if they can make money out of it, that's fantastic. I just think that Roblox's practices could be a bit nicer to... Oh my god, I used to play Work at Pizza Place. I remember playing Work at Pizza... That game's an older one, Christ. But yeah, I definitely remember playing Work at Pizza Place. There's also a lot of, like, you know, Survive the Tsunami games and stuff like that. But yeah. Let's see. Let's do this. That's my thing. It's like, it could just completely like unrestrained. Like there's like no real limitations. Like you're gonna get some original stuff on there, but then every time you get like an original thing, a dozen other people are just gonna duplicate, like copy it. Actually, I used to play like a Pokemon game on there. It wasn't Brick, because I know like Pokemon Brick Bronze on there was really popular. I played a different Pokemon. I think it's just called it Project Pokemon or something. And I played a lot of that. It's actually, but you know. Yeah. Would any of you be interested in me trying to make a game in Roblox Studio? I know it's kind of like, it's a similar sort of niche to what I'm doing, you know, it's like a kid's, well, like, you know, what people might deem as a kid's toy, but just, you know, people think of it as a kid's toy, but it isn't. It's got good potential. Like, I could see myself trying to make that. Okay, you'd like to see some? I'll keep it in mind. I've been thinking about maybe doing a series where I just like test different like programming software. So like especially like more niche ones. So I could definitely throw Roblox Studio onto there. Maybe that would be a good place to start. Haven't done much 3D making, so that could be a fun thing. I am currently using Scratch, yes. If that's the question. Da, 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 da. Here you go. I do know how to use Unity. Yes, I have used Unity in the past. I just like using Scratch because I enjoy it. What's your idea? Stella King PSD. Let's go to set X2. Shop X, that's what I need to do. Need to go to front. Let's see. Actually, this needs to be the other way around. Why is this not working? Let's see. There's a Scratch mod, a code, and there's more than one person working on it. We made a game with your fans. I have been thinking about trying to do something with people for a while. It obviously requires a bit of coordination with people, which isn't always super easy. Oh, that's why it's not working. Okay, I need to add a clone block to here. Let's see. But yeah, I would love to do something with you guys, maybe, at some point. I will think about that, definitely. I always love doing stuff which includes you, which is why I do kind of enjoy doing these lives, because it means I get to properly chat with you guys, see what you're thinking about my videos and stuff, which is always cool. Yeah, and obviously, like, you know, it requires everyone to, I suppose if you did it over the course of like a week or something, because, like, you know, my thing is, like, you know, I live in the UK. A lot of people live in the States or other time zones. So it has to be a time. The reason, like, normally I upload my videos in the morning GMT. The reason I'm doing this in the afternoon is because I know I've got quite, like, a lot of my fan base is in the States. So, I think the way the time, it should be morning for them. Whereas if I did mine in the morning, they'd all be asleep. So, you know, just trying to. But yeah, I would like to do something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. So, yes, I could definitely see myself doing something like that in the future. So, yeah, if that's something I'd like to see, I'll have a think about that. Yeah. It just comes down to sorting stuff out in terms of times. There we go. That slides out now. It is 4 PM, yes. And obviously we're in GMT right now. Because I don't know when, like, British daylight savings changes compared to, like, other countries. Because I know not all countries are exactly the same, which is really annoying. I assume everyone's on winter time by now. I hope so. But, you know. Last time I did a stream we were on summertime. Now it's GMT again. Which, it is what it is, but... Let's see. Did you not do the size one? Let's do brightness. There we go. That. Now, let's see. Let's do this. So let's set this file to none. Let's make it so at the start you have 10 coins. So then you can slide this in. Now when this sprite clicked, if not, or when do I think Scratch 4.0 is coming out? I'm not sure. It's quite funny really, because I remember when Scratch 3.0 came out and everyone hated it. Like everyone I knew was so annoyed with it because it looked so, like, the older version looks a lot more grown up. I mean, it's still Scratch, but but now, like, looking at that old version, I do think the new version looks so much cleaner. But it's just what you grew up with. I don't know why, like, there's certain things though that, like, Scratch 3.0, like, Scratch 2.0 had fantastic inbuilt tutorials. Scratch 3.0 just doesn't. Like, there's some stuff which was just genuinely better in 2.0, but now they have 3.0, and they still haven't got back to that level. But a lot of other things are just better. So I don't know when Scratch 4.0 is coming out. I don't know what they would change. Hopefully they could add some more tutorials and stuff like that, because I do think those are great for, you know, beginner Scratchers. And stuff like that. But still, we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. I'm not going to dismiss the idea of Scratch 4.0. I think it could be good. Like, I definitely dismissed the idea of Scratch 3.0, and here I am, like, years later, still using it, so they must have done something, right? Just put 10 now. I'm going to have to change it so that has the value of the item, but still, place selected of tiles with costume name, and replace or change money by -10. Would you guys want a Scratch 4.0? Or are you happy with it as it is? Now I'm going to just quickly change the colour of the background. I'm not a huge fan of using true white, so I'm going to just... It's going to be similar. I'm not going to do anything drastic. I'm just going to do that for now. Add a bit of colour to the background. So now we need to make it so you can assign this guy to make toys. Let's see. Yeah, I think Scratch 4.0 could be good. I don't know what they'd change. Because the main thing with Scratch 3.0 was mostly a cosmetic overhaul, really. Everything looks a lot, like, brighter and larger and kind of, like, stylized now. But we'll see. Yeah. Like, there's, like, some small things I would like to change. Like, the fact there's no, like, greater than and equal to, like, operator. There's a greater than one and there's an equal to, but there's not a greater than and equal to. So, it's like, there's one extra set of codes that, like, you know, you end up using a lot, but you have to kind of do a workaround because there's not one block to do it and stuff like that. And I think, like, you know, I'd love to have options to, like, have, like, game saving and stuff like that, but obviously, like, you know, when it comes to things like children might blow up mummy's laptop by doing stuff, it can be a bit dubious adding stuff like that, and obviously there's, like, safeguarding concerns and stuff like that, so you have to be careful, but I'd love to have stuff like that as an option. And, like, squash and stretch and stuff for sprites would be fun. What was I doing? Oh, right. Make it so, like, different panels. Yeah, no Penguin mod. I have used Penguin mod a little bit. Not on a video. I have messed around with it, but I feel like these are things that Scratch proper should have just inbuilt, because, I don't know, it would just be good. You know? Yeah, like, I use Turbo Warp quite a lot, which, it's fine. I think Penguin mod has more stuff than Turbo Warp does, for what it's worth. But, yeah. Let's see, what am I doing? Do I want to keep all of this in one panel? Maybe. Let's try that. I could always extrapolate it out into two different sprites if I need to. let's try this, shall we? Yeah, I think Scratch mods are good, for what it's worth. Yeah, I think it's good that there are alternative like mods for Scratch and stuff for people who want to use them. Let's see. And what I'm doing now is I'm just making what I need to do, because I want it to be like you're able to select which toy is currently being made, like because you'll get a bunch of different orders sort of thing. The idea being, and then you'll be able to just select from a list. But like for higher value ones, you're gonna need more, and you can like. I think you'll be able to like dismiss orders, but they take a little bit of time to reload back in, sort of thing, is the plan right now. That's not how you spell select, is it? Let's see. It's 3 and a bit across. Okay, that's how many across it goes. Sulked. Yeah. Sometimes my spelling goes out the window. I'm sure like I've misspelt stuff in videos before and it's just existed there until it's made it to YouTube. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I've misspelled the word shop at some point in a YouTube video. Like, sometimes when you just look at a word for too long, it just starts looking right even when it's not. Which is just always a bit fun. Let's do... Yeah, okay, we can do that. Then we can do make some options to buy different things. Let's just start with the 1 for now. I'd love to get like a full primary gameplay loop done this coding session. I am probably gonna have to stop in about 40 odd minutes. 45 minutes. But we'll see. I might change the woodwork thing so that the letters are 1 taller, so I'm able to fit in the rest of this S. There we go. No one ever need know that these were once 1 pixel shorter. I did quite like the smaller font, but I needed a middle for the S. And I wanted the styles to be the same. So that's how we're doing it. I am running out of ideas of things to talk about, so if you do have any suggestions, I would much appreciate those in the comment section. If you did want to for any discussion points this way, I'm open to them. Let's see. Now we can remove. Welcome back. So I'm just going to remove this. We could drag this down by one. You soldier. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of station index would work. Spice this up a bit. Join shop underscore. How's the cooking channel? Honestly, I haven't been doing that for a while. I don't really check in on it. There's a lot of reasons I quit. I still do cook a lot. I just not into doing those like uber healthy, like, you know, like it's basically a health channel, but like I'm not really into that. Like much. Like I was kind of like obsessed with fitness for a while. The point was kind of unhealthy, and I needed a break from it. And I honestly do not have the time to go back to it. I would love to get back into cooking in a different style at some point. I just kind of cook for my family at the moment, which is nice, but, you know, we'll see. But yeah, right now I'm not doing anything with the cooking channel. HannaMouse cooks. I do occasionally upload to my second channel, HannaMouse crafts, but not yeah. Just would work, okay. But yeah, that is the way of things. Not many people watch the cooking videos anyway. I'm really into the coding stuff. That's what my thing is right now. I'm also doing like, I'm really into creative writing and stuff at the moment, so like I would love to do some videos on that sort of thing. But like, it's funny, weird. That sounds fun. Yeah. I do plan on getting more into music. I've asked for a mandolin for Christmas, so I'm planning to learn how to play the mandolin. we go. So yeah, it's quite funny really, because my channel, what really set my channel off was like media analysis. Like I think it was like I made a video which like Vi versus Galadriel, it's like writing female warrior characters, and that video did really well, mostly because people liked praising Arcane and ragging on Lord of the Rings of Power, because Arcane's a good show and Rings of Power is not. And because like I made the video at the right time, a lot of people watched it, but they never really came back to my channel. And I was like, I tried doing more media analysis stuff, and they weren't coming back for it. So I was like, fine, I'll just go back to doing what I enjoyed then. But yeah, it is what it is, though. So yeah. How am I going to do this? It's kind of hard to think about this and constantly talk. How does this work? So we need to go back in, which this did. Send that back. And open equal shop. Let's try this, shall we? This is clicking back and forth. Yeah, okay. A large part of my process is just trial and erroring, and like normally I just cut out the videos because it's normally quite a long process of me just faffing around with nothing. But it is what it is. Try this. Yeah, that works. Okay. And two. Yeah, this seems to work, I think. There we go. Oh. Thanks for bringing your second channel to the party. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That works. So yeah, let's see if I can soldier or woodwork stations, add see. 20. And then we can do if open is equal to shop. Now we need to make a tile production, which will allow us to set which thing is being made. Tile production. None. Let's see. If you go like that, it goes back in, comes back out, and you can do connected of tile production with this val. This works. Are you complimenting your own music? Classy. I want to make it so you can, once you've bought it, you can just keep going with it, sort of thing. So make it so it says selected. It seems kind of unfair to make you, like, it would just look a bit weird if it constantly said, like, you can buy it when it's already selected, and it needs to tell you which one you've already got there. So let's do that. Let's drop that down to there. Selectio. Selectio, selectio, wherefore art thou selectio? There we go, selected. Let's see. Add an if else into this. Equals item of type selected. There we go. Sounds like a whale of a time that, spamming soup in a live action chat. Right, let's see. Now I need to make it so that you can receive orders for, let's make it so you have, there's a toy index, soldier, and do toys. Let's see, that's a very long time to be spamming the word soup. Let's see if we do delete all, oh, let's go on tiles. Delete all of toys. Repeat once, we'll have to increase this later. Add 0, or add, repeat length of toy index. Let's just do that. Length of toy index, add 0 to toys. Hello, welcome to the stream. Let's see. Now we need to do forever, no, change, replace this by, I think, toys with +1 equals this value of tiles is equal to woodwork. We'll make it now so that when you've selected a toy for the station to produce, it automatically just ticks up. You have tile production. Oh, you're all the same person, are you? Okay. I always lose track of which accounts are yours. So. That's what I need to do. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is set this into a separate forever loop and add a cooldown on it because it shouldn't be ticking up every second. On every tick, it should be up every, let's do every half second. There we go, got a nice steady stream of toys flowing in. Now we need to actually do the orders situation. So we need to make it so that you can actually earn some money by selling the toys. Let's see. Da, da, da. Out of interest, do you enjoy me doing live streams? Like, it's good for me. Okay, bye, Stella King. Do you guys enjoy me doing live streams? It's a lot easier for me on weeks when like I'm really busy, because it only takes the afternoon. It doesn't take like all week to do, and it gives me time to get slightly better videos out for you the rest of the time. But if this is something you're enjoying, I am glad. I will be happy to do more of these. Like I said earlier, I would like to do at least one more before Christmas so I can try and get this game somewhere in the realm of complete. Because I'm only going to have to go for another 20 minutes or so. No? Well, glad you enjoyed. Thanks you, Stella. Have a nice rest of your day. Also, just enjoy getting the chance to chat with you guys a bit, because I feel like I don't really get the chance to do that very often. You know? But yeah, I'll probably do more of these. Order. Orders. That looks good. And this is just going to be showing permanently. Easy peasy. Let's see. Now we need to create a way of actually generating orders. I think it's going to be like, let's start with order 1. We can add more orders when we get around to it. Like I said, I'm just working on making a primary gameplay loop right now. So refresh as so. Delete all of order 1. Add pick random 1 to length of toy index to order 1. Add 1 to, yeah, let's go 10 to 25 to order 1. And that should be it. Let's just see. So now we need to create like an order panel sort of thing where the order information can be displayed. Let's see. And just reuse some of the art from this. Like that. Go down a little bit further so that we can get all the information in. So we need to have it display how many you have, how many you need, and an option to submit it if you have met all of the requirements. I have to make it so you can only do 2 orders because you're going to need a bit more space than that. It would probably be good to add a discard option, but we can sort that out at a later date. Like I said, primary gameplay loop. Don't want to overscope right now. Let's see. Okay, I've got a quarter of an hour left to get this game into tip-top condition. See, drag in all the numbers because you're going to need these to display the quantities. And I'm going to do this just because if you're not using this, if you're using a number as a name and it's not the same as its actual number code, Scratch can get confused with which one you're on about. So I'm just going to add number prefix onto this. Like this. And we can now, I also want to make a little tick box so that you're able to say, yep, this is good to go. I'd say live streaming is actually a pretty good way of maintaining focus on a project. If I wasn't live streaming this, I'd have wandered off and done about 20 other things in the time it's taken me to code this. I am so inefficient when it comes to focusing on coding. When I know you're all watching me, it requires me to actually pay attention, which is probably a good thing. No point using 2 different shades of green. Let's refine that down for the sake of palette. Now, let's get this ready to display, shall we? Clone. We need this val. So we need to switch costume to, or set this val to panel. Create a clone of myself. Set this val to one. 5 times. Just do let's do like this. Set this val to tick. Then by then we can do when I start as a clone, if forever go to panel, switch costume to join panel underscore item 1 of order 1 of toy index if this panel is equal to tick. Mushrooms tick. For now, let's just do number 1. Okay. Do go to back layer. And this needs to, don't need all that. I need to go in there. Let's just set this to the right position. Why is this not working? Why are they unable to go past x equal to 100? This might be a problem to fix next time because I am running out of time here. So finish this up. Let's see. It'd be good to get this bug fixed. The reason they shouldn't go past x is equal to 100. Anyway, I think I'm getting pretty burned out on this, so I'm going to call the live stream there for today, but thanks you so much for joining in for this. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I will be definitely doing another one of these before Christmas so I can get this game polished off. I'm glad to have you all, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!